welcome to another edition of the First Tee of Northwest Arkansas Facebook Live. We're coming here from our indoor facility. Of course, it's cold and rainy outside, and as much as we want to be outside and give you guys a couple tips and show you a couple of the swings, unfortunately we're going to be indoors for today. Hopefully the next one we'll be able to go outdoors. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some putting games and a little chipping game that you can do while you're practicing outdoors, or you can actually practice them indoors if your parents will allow it. All right. So first and foremost, we want to go over one of our core values. Just a reminder of what our core values are. So one of the most important ones, and one that we talk about quite a bit on the golf course, is integrity. For those of you who don't remember what integrity means, it's to do the right thing even when no one's looking. And some of the examples that we may use when we're out on the golf course is if you accidentally break a rule, we want to make sure we tell our playing partners, because our playing partners may not be watching us the entire time. So we want to make sure that we always tell our playing partners what happened, making sure that we're keeping the correct score, because if we have a swing and a miss, that does have to count. And integrity is good to use at home, especially now that you're more at home. You want to make sure that you're following your parents' instructions, and if they ask you to do something, they may not be watching you, but you want to make sure that you are doing the right thing, even when they're not looking. Okay. So again, we're gonna show you a little putting exercise and a little chipping exercise. But first, it's always important to warm up the body before you do any kind of activity. So I'm going to bring Coach Ethan in. He's going to show you guys, actually Coach Ethan and Coach Lee are going to show you guys a couple little stretches. And if you don't mind, follow along.
Hey guys, we're going to do a couple stretches this morning. First thing, just to kind of get the blood flowing and get you warmed up and waking up a bit more, we're going to do some running in place just a little bit, just for a couple seconds. Just make sure you're warming up, you're going to get that blood flowing, you're just going to wake up. Alright, and from here, we're going to do a strength exercise. From here we're going to have our feet about shoulder width apart, and we're going to do a squat. You might want to have it just a bit further than shoulder length apart, but from there, you're going to keep your hands in front of you, try and keep your back as straight as possible, and go all the way down, and then up. You're going to do it a couple times. You're just using your own body weight, making sure if you feel like you can, use a small weight or a book around your house, go ahead and do that. Just something to give yourself a little bit more of a challenge. But that's a good stretch and a good exercise for your legs, and it also just gets you a little more waking up. From here, we're going to go into some arm stretches. Just get our arms loose and all that. So first we're going to take our right arm, put it across our body, and pull it with the other arm. We're going to pull it just to stretch it. You're going to feel it here in your back and right in your arm. Alright, we're going to switch arms. Same thing. If you feel like it gets a little too easy, just push a bit more, turn a bit more. Alright. Another one we're going to do is we're going to put our arm behind our back like this. Our elbow is going to be facing the sky. With your other arm, you're going to pull that down. You're going to feel it on the back of your arm right here. You're going to pull that down. Hold it for a bit more. Now we're going to switch arms. Same thing. Elbow to the sky. With that other arm, we're going to push down. You're going to feel it right there in the back of your arm, right here. Push down. Alright, and then from there we're going to do some more arm circles just to get everything worked out. If you feel a little tight from that exercise, it just works everything out. Alright, now we're going to go backwards. Alright, now with those exercises you should feel a little more energized, a little more relaxed. Your body will not feel stiff, and we'll send it back on over to Coach Chris.
Okay, so good job. Thank you guys very much. We're going to get into our little putting game that you can do it at home. Like I said before, you can do it at home if your parents will allow you to do it, or you could do it out when you come out to practice at our facility. And
with a wiffle ball or
Yep.
foam ball
Yep,
inside.
you could use a if you do it inside, you probably want to use a wiffle ball or a foam ball indoors, just to make sure we don't break anything, okay? So if you notice, if you look down, you can see that we we have 14 balls that we put in a circle, and we're going to have Coach Lee and Coach Ethan compete against one another to see who can make the most. Now, each ball is about a putter length away from the hole, and they're going to go what we call around the world. They're going to go as far around the world as they can to see who can make the most. So whoever wants to give it a shot. But before we get going, let's just go over the putting stroke real quick. Just a reminder, a couple things you want to make sure you do is you want to have those feet roughly about shoulder width apart. Make sure you're in a pretty athletic stance, so knees bent. You're still standing pretty tall with your back. And one of the other important things that we need to make sure that we do is make sure that that putter face is aimed toward our target. And when we take our swing, we're going to go toe to toe, and you're going to let your arms kind of dictate how far you're going to hit the ball. So the faster you swing your arms, the further the ball will go. The slower you swing them, the shorter the ball will go. But the swing is going to be pretty consistent as far as toe to toe. Once you make impact with the golf ball, you want to make sure that that club face and the back of that left arm and that left wrist are kind of pointing all together going towards your target. So you want to have a good solid finish after you've made your stroke, after you've made impact. Okay, so I think we're ready for the competition. They've been itching to get into this competition today. So who wants to go first? Ladies first. All right, good luck. All right, Coach Lee got one through there. So now Coach Ethan will go. Good putt.
Just really making sure to keep that left hand on the club and make sure it goes right towards that target when I'm making that stroke. That's toe to toe stroke.
Caddy Coach Lee will help him get the balls out. Nice.
And as you play this game, if you feel like there's a different distance you need to work on, you can move the pieces of tape out as far as you want. But right now we're just really focusing on these little 2 or 3 footers.
Hey, good job. Yeah, very good job. Great. That was a great little competition that you can do with either with your family, or your brothers, sisters, or your friends. And like I said, you can do this when you come out to our facility on our putting green, or if you want to do it indoors, you can put the tape down. All you need, if you want to do it outdoors, all you're going to need is 8 to 10 balls, some tees, a putter, and you'll be ready to go. Just make sure you put that, you measure it out, the putter length from where the hole is at. It's important to work on those 3 footers because you're going to have a lot of your putts from that distance throughout the round, so you want to make sure that you want to get pretty good, and that's going to help lower your scores as you go through the round. Okay, so we're going to go and do a little chipping exercise that you can do. We're going to work on what we call bump and run shots. Okay, that's where the ball's just going to fly in the air just a little bit, and then it's going to roll more like a putt toward our target. So we're going to go get set up for the chip shot, and we'll be right back. So as you can see, we're getting ready to hit off the little bit longer grass. Like this would be considered the rough, or just off the green could be the fairway. And we're pretty close to the green, but there may be times where you can't use a putter. So you want to use something maybe like an 8 or a 9 iron to hit more of this bump and run shot. So that's a little bit flatter face club. So when we hit the shot, it may come off a little bit hotter just because it's a flatter face club. But we want to get that ball rolling as quick as possible. So we're going to show you some tips on how to get this ball going towards your targets. Like I said, it's going to be very similar to the putt. So Coach Ethan's going to set up. What club you got there?
I have an 8 iron.
Perfect. Perfect 8 iron. Okay. So if you notice, he's going to stand with his feet pretty close together. And I bet he's going to put a little bit of weight on his left side. And he's going to make sure that club face and the back of his left arm or left wrist are going toward the target. And he's only going to want to land. How far do you want to land this?
I want to land this about 4 feet in front of me and just let it run.
Yeah, so the ball is only going to be airborne for what, 2 to 4 feet, and then it's going to roll the rest of the way just like a putt. Okay. Very nice, very nice. And you notice that ball rolled a lot more than it was in the air. So again, that's what's considered a bump and run shot. So we want to make sure that ball is continuing to roll a lot more than it flies. Okay, y'all want to do a couple more?
Sure. And whenever you take this, just almost think of it as a putting stroke. You're not taking a too big of a swing. It's just like a little putting stroke, but just with one of your irons. Coach Lee, would you like to have a shot?
I'll fly with you. I didn't bring that.
No, you're fine.
She gonna make it? She gonna make it?
Come on.
Oh, good. Oh, good shit.
Do I try?
Yeah.
I'll be ready to fly.
Y'all are tough to beat.
I might take that trophy on me. There's a good one. There's
Another
go
good one.
ahead.
Okay, so that's called the bump and run. That's really the way golf is supposed to be played. Is you want to get that ball on the ground as quick as possible. And roll more like a putt up to the hole. If you can learn to hit this shot, I bet you're going to be chipping in or getting that ball pretty close quite a bit when you're out playing. Of course, we want to be pretty good with our short game on that putting and chipping. So again, that we can get those scores lower when we get back out to playing. These are two pretty important shots that you're going to want to continue to practice on. I know we all like to hit drivers and irons and see how far we hit, but man, if you can get really good at these shots, you're going to be pretty successful when you're on the golf course. And just play around it. Like what we just did there, we could do a little competition. We could do it closest to the hole. You kind of try to want to make up games with yourself, compete against maybe your favorite golfer of all time, whoever that may be. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. We encourage you to use your imagination when you're out playing and you're out practicing, and be a little bit competitive, because that's going to get you to try to be a little bit more competitive on the golf course, to try to beat the golf course. You're not beating the player, you're trying to beat the golf course. Always remember that. Again, we worked on putting, we worked on chipping, we talked about integrity. Hopefully we all remember that's doing the right thing even when no one's looking. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're always showing good integrity, whether we're at home, once we get back into school, when we come out the first tee. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. We'll be doing this again on Thursday. We'll work on a couple more swings. So we look forward to seeing you. And again, our facility is open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 5 on Sundays. And hey, summer's right around the corner. We are starting our registration for our summer camps and for our after school classes, our evening classes. So registration is now online. So if you'd like to register, just go to our website, northwestarkansas.org. Look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you very much.